Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Kellen here again with Droid Life. So it's gonna be an interesting one. This is the Microsoft Surface Duo. This is Microsoft's return to phone-ish type devices, and well, it also happens to run Android. So lot to talk about here as they make this sort of entry into our world. And look, there's going to be a lot to talk about over the coming weeks as we play with this. So let's just dive in and get started here. This is our Microsoft Surface Duo unboxing. All right, so where do we start? So Microsoft Surface Duo, it's not a foldable, but it's a folding device. And it's not really a phone, but it also sort of is a phone. It is from Microsoft. Again, it runs Android. It costs $1,400 to start, and it also goes up to $1,500. You know, we've covered this a little bit as we've sort of crept up over the past year to this launch, and it's just one of those devices that, look, it's going to have its flaw. I'm telling you right now, I haven't even played with it. It just has some glaring issues. It's totally a first-gen device, but it is interesting. So we're just going to... Oh, they might have given me a pull tab. We're just going to go for this, and we're going to see what happens, keeping an open mind. Get to a review probably. I don't really know. Anyway, let's take plastic off. So Surface Duo. Let's take the box out. Little shimmy there. You can move knife. Shimmy. Ooh, tight box. Okay. So here's the device. We will just set this aside. I'm so interested in how this is going to play. But anyway, what else is in here? It comes with a Surface Duo bumper. So a bumper would be sort of like a case. And look, it's got two parts. It's kind of a rubberish material. It's going to slide. I think I totally just broke it. No, I don't know what I did there. Anyway, it's going to slide on the ends of it. So when you fold it together and drop it and set it down, it has a little bit of cushioning. You can see that in the picture there. Set that aside. This must just be some guide stuff, I think. This is it looks like SIM removal tool, which either fell out. Oh, there it is. It did fall out. So SIM removal tool, at least we got a new design from Microsoft here compared to everyone else. What else? So this is a USB logo. So this will see a USB, I believe it's a USB-C. Oh, it's black too. I was not expecting that. So USB-C to USB-C cable here. Cool. At least we got that right, huh, Microsoft? And then this just must be the charger. Should be an 18-watt charger. This device does have 18-watt fast charging, if we're still calling 18-watt fast enough. A little flap down there. There it is, USB-C port down there. So 18-watt fast charger here. The device does not have wireless charger or anything like that. Looks like that's in the box. So no earbuds in here, no anything else. Let's clear it up and grab that guy. All right, then this would be moment of truth time, right? Plastic. I know some of you like to listen to that. Again, I've done this for like 10 years now. I still don't understand the plastic. Dude. Oh, okay, really stuck in there. Plastic. All right, so here is the device. This is my first time holding the device, by the way. Well, it feels really premium. It looks very pretty too. It's sort of this white color. I believe we're calling it Glacier or something like that. Obviously, Windows logo or Microsoft logo there. We have a hinge here, which we'll talk about in a second. Absolutely nothing on the back. Both front and back here are Gorilla Glass. So no camera. You're probably wondering how we take a picture. Well, the camera's on the inside. You'll do a flipty-foldy trick to do that. We do have USB-C port down here on the bottom. So USB-C. I wish that was centered, but I'm a weirdo. On this side right here, we do have buttons. So volume rocker, and then this is a power switch, and then this is a fingerprint reader. So you do have a fingerprint reader. If we open it up, this is where we start talking about a little bit of the inside. So front camera right here. There is also your speaker for taking phone calls. Looks like this must be a speaker down here as well. No stereo speakers in this big old device. But again, front camera, it's 11 megapixels. It's going to be absolute garbage. We will not expect it to be good. But that is your only camera. So it opens and shuts. Feels very smooth. I will say that, you know, the hinge, I'll just try to get you a closer shot. So as you unfold this thing, it just is very smooth all the way through. And in between these two pieces up here and here that kind of keep the two phones together, I believe there's like cables and stuff running through there from each piece to sort of keep everything functioning and all of that, and some of the dual screen magic that we're going. So I mean, nothing feels flimsy about this. You know, we've talked about foldable phones recently, like the Razr and the original Galaxy Fold, and how just like the hinge it almost scared you because you were folding glass in half. Well, here we're not folding glass in half. There's just, you know, there's a gap here. I mean, there's not really a gap. These things are about as close together as they can be, but we've got like a space here. This isn't one screen across, it's two screens. So let's turn this on and talk about what exactly we're working with here. So assuming there's juice. Oh, there we go. Logo there. Okay, so you have two screens. All right, two 5.6 inch displays. They're AMOLED, 1800 by 1350. So very high resolution. Together, this diagonal is 8.1. Oh, there we go. There's the powered by Android. 8.1 inches diagonal. And now that you can see this fired up, you can see there are substantial bezels, top, bottom. You even have a little bit over here on the side. That may be nice for holding the device, but it also feels a little dated when you're talking, you know, Galaxy Fold 2 has, you know, almost no bezel, and there's a front display and all this, and this, you know, has no front display, no rear, anything. You know, Microsoft, they're giving it a first try here. So anyway, those two displays, so high resolution. You have a Snapdragon 855 processor on the inside. Look, the Snapdragon 855 is from the end of 2019, 18. I don't know. It's a year old. The 865 is the current one for this year. The 855 is last year's. No 5G then, and that's probably, well, I would say that would help keep the price down, but the price is not down. 855 probably runs fine. Where I'm worried though is we only have 6 gig RAM in this thing, and then you either have 128 gig storage or 256 gig storage. There's no SD slot. This is a 128 gig model, $1,399, so $1,399. The 256 gig model is another 100, so $1,499. Has a 3570 milliamp hour battery. There is 18 watt fast charging, no wireless charging at all. Again, that 11 megapixel camera up front. We have AC Wi-Fi, so it's not Wi-Fi 6. Bluetooth 5.0, fingerprint reader over here I mentioned. No NFC, so if you want to do mobile payments during a global pandemic where you don't want to touch anything, that is out if this is your only phone. That USB-C port down on the bottom is 3.1, single speaker, unlocked. So this will work on, well, this unlocked model will supposedly work on AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. However, AT&T is also selling a locked model. So it's kind of an overview of specs. Let me try to jump past this, and we'll talk software. We'll try something. Just real briefly, while I'm trying to jump past the startup setup, there is a day one update. So installing system update, it's 260 megs. I'm guessing, at least I've heard that it really needs this update. So I'm glad it found that right out of the box, and we'll let that run through, and then I'll finish the setup, and we'll come right back. Oh man, so where do we begin? So anyway, I updated it. I set up, like my accounts are on here and stuff. We installed apps and all of that. So we're in, man. Yeah, where do we go? So anyway, if you open it up, this is sort of your first impression of this is like the lock screen, right? So you have a shortcut to a flashlight over here, which is cool. Shortcut to the camera, and then this little bar right here is telling you use your fingerprint to unlock it. So that takes you to the home screen. The home screen doesn't necessarily look super new. It's got familiar ideas you've seen with lots of launchers. You've got your dock with some favorite apps. This is all preloaded. I haven't messed with this. You obviously just have two screens now. You still have Android notification area up here, and there's all your quick settings, tiles, and things like that. And you can pull it down on either side if you want to. You can swipe up in here, and that gets you into your app drawer, and it's alphabetized. This is Microsoft's launcher, so some of you actually may use this on your other phone. You can swipe over this way, and there's sort of it's like Microsoft's shelf, or it's not really Google. It's not like Google's Discover. It's more like, you know, the OnePlus shelf. It's over that side, so it's over there. And you can slide between all of your apps and bring that up, and you can see everything kind of transitions in between. We have shortcuts, and obviously this is loaded with all of Microsoft stuff, you know, of course it is. This is a Microsoft phone, but there's your Google stuff as well. Over here, just some cool things. You can build these like 2 app shortcuts. So this one, for example, looks like it wants to load up whatever the hell Microsoft's browser is called, and then their Notes app. And so it loads those 2 at the same time. And you can create your own custom ones, I believe. So like I'll probably have like a Spotify and a Twitter one, or a Twitter and a YouTube, or a Chrome and Twitter, or Instagram and Twitter. You know what I mean? You can create your own shortcuts there. You'll notice that I'm swiping up to go home. So this does have gesture navigation. So if I tap that again, actually, let's just do like one app at a time. So I've got an app up over here. I can swipe up and hold, and that gets me into my app switcher, which it just runs vertical. So it's slightly different than the one you're used to. I can actually swipe over on the bottom gesture area, and that'll switch screens for me. I can swipe up and that'll just go home. If I'm in something and I like tap on an article, you still have the same back gesture from the side that takes you back a screen. Where this phone kind of tries to stand out, assuming you have apps that are supported here, you swipe up and hold, and then you drop it kind of in the middle here, and then it puts things on 2 different screens. It clearly doesn't like Droid Life, or maybe Microsoft's app isn't quite ready, but you're supposed to get 2 experiences. So like one example would be, I believe this Notes app probably does it. So we drop that, and you'll get like a list of stuff over here, and then over here you can, keep track of a note or something like that. So you get this sort of dual screen experience. Again, most of this stuff is only in Microsoft's apps. Like I tried to throw Gmail on there, and I can't really show you that for privacy concerns here. But Gmail like tries to do the dual screen, but the seam kind of cuts off some stuff. So one of the big hurdles I think Microsoft's going to have to overcome here is getting people to build apps that utilize 2 screens, if that makes sense. It's going to be hard for me to show you much right now just because I'm still learning as well. But like if we jump in here and go into settings, a lot of this stuff sort of looks a lot like you would expect from any sort of Android phone, right? You can get into system and you can do about phones, and there's accounts, and there's even digital well-being. You have display settings and things like that. There is a dark theme. I just don't have it turned on at the moment. All of your Wi-Fi settings, your network stuff, all that's in the same positions, the sound. So a lot of the stuff is very familiar. Where this phone is going to try to stand out again is because you have 2 screens and trying to use those as much as you can. So one of the interesting things is obviously when you fold the phone, like which screen tries to work. And you'll notice there was a little thing there that said double tap here to flip the screen over. So if I double tap, that may work. There we go. Double tap, that brings it over. It kind of recognizes as you flip, and then it says double tap to bring it over. It tries to bring it over. Clearly didn't work there. Let's try that again. There we go. With the camera, that's sort of the same setup. When you open it from here, it's obviously in selfie mode. So you want to flip it, and then it should flip. And then you can see now it's down here, or we can slide this over and take a picture. Did that work? Take a picture? The camera I'm expecting to be awful, so we're not going to spend a lot of time there. The kind of cool things I've noticed so far, again, we'll dive much more into software and things like that at a later time. This is kind of just a first impressions. But like the hardware feels really nice. Like I think you guys have probably heard this before. The hardware feels nice. It is a little weird just because it's kind of wide. Opening and shutting this hinge is actually pretty damn cool and satisfying, which I know I kind of made fun of on one of our Droid Life shows, but opening the hinge is pretty cool. The idea of like using 2 screens and then going, wait a minute, I need to just go to one so I can type easier is kind of a cool idea as well. I like that already. I mean, I can see myself the minute I get done with this video, I'm going to go sit on my couch and set up a bunch of stuff and do my dual screen things and see how it works. But I can just see myself like flipping back and forth between screens to do one thing and then another. So, there's a lot going on here. I feel like I could just keep talking and playing with this and showing you guys, but then we'll be here for, a half an hour. So anyways, I have a Surface Duo. I don't know what I think. I think I very much like the idea of this package. The older processor, the not enough RAM, the camera that will be a disaster. Those sort of things worry me a little bit. I do wish there was like stereo speakers. I wish the screens were 120 hertz. They're not, they're just 60. But I think Microsoft will probably update this regularly, especially right out of the gate. I wouldn't doubt it if we get tons of updates. So like I'm excited for the idea. One of those issues though I'm seeing so far is like if you get notifications and you have your phone on silent, like how do you know if you have anything? And they kind of added this little thing where you can kind of peek and it'll show you some stuff and you can open it up from there and it kind of shows you this lock screen experience. But you know what would be really cool, Microsoft, is if you did an always on display if you had it open. Like I'm talking like I want to set it on my desk like this and then I get an always on display. It's a safe environment. It's not going to scratch, but if I get notifications in, they'll show up. I can see the time. Also, if this is by your bed, it'd be kind of cool to like set it sideways like that, plug it in, and then I can look over and it's sort of that alarm clock style. And who knows, maybe these things are coming, but I'm just already coming up with ideas where I would like to see Microsoft sort of tweak some things. And so far, I haven't found any settings for any of that. Maybe it's in there. I'm not really sure. I couldn't find it. So, wow. Anyways, Surface Duo. I know this is just overpriced and probably no one should buy it, but there's some cool stuff going on. I'm actually, it's still a global pandemic here. I'm still at home sitting on my couch a lot, and this might be outside of the Galaxy Z Fold 2, which will probably destroy this thing. This is kind of fun. At least it's something different, right? Let's give it a spin. Let us know if you have any comments or questions. This is Droid Life. Peace.